Alright, welcome back, folks, to another cast. Take a quick look at these deck lists before we get in. We have Southeast Asia versus Italy. This is a pretty important match for Southeast Asia as they're currently down 0-4. So if Rohan doesn't win this game, then Italy will have won their match. However, the rest of the games should be played because of tiebreaker reasons. But quickly taking a look at the deck list, we have Night's Watch Greensight, which is basically trying to set up characters for the 6-cost wall to steal. Now, I do see only 2 copies of Bound for the Wall and Yorin, two of the more powerful cards. I would definitely at least see 3 copies of Bound for the Wall. This card is just a little bit unreal. We have 3 copies of Varus and 2 Last of the Giants for that combination, along with a copy of Magnum Mighty. So this is a pretty heavy attrition deck. 2 copies of March to the Wall, and we're really just trying to abuse discard effects and then the 6-cost wall. Hey, what's up, Rebs? And then we have on the Italian team, we have Martell Stag. Volume's really low. All right, give me one sec. How's this, Dan? All right, I think I fixed it. Apologies to anyone listening. I had some setting on my headset down. So taking a look at the Martell Stag list, I don't know much about Martell decks, so I don't necessarily know what this is doing, but it looks like it's just Martell, and then it's abusing the Renly from the box to put Martell characters into, or to put Martell characters into play. We have 3 copies of Dorn. Obviously, Dorn just gets to go in every deck. We do have 3 copies of the new Iron Throne, which is a really powerful control tool. Then 3 copies of Viper's Eyes and Tears. So it looks like it's a pretty control-y deck. Not too many characters that really worry about being stolen because there are not that many uniques. This 1x Salarosan is pretty spicy against the big wall. So we'll just quickly hop into this match here and just go. Let's see. Which game is it? Oh, it's this one. All right, so looks like I missed plot 1. That's my bad, guys. And so we have Martell opening up at Doran's behest at the gates. Looks like we're marshaling, so the setup for the Martell player is really nice here with with an econ location, Dorn and another character. So you get 3 cards set up, and then you get Dorn online. And we see a Red Priest on turn 1, which is really great. If you can nab out like the wall here, that's super ideal. Let's quickly pull these deck lists over here. When does this card trigger? So it looks like he didn't trigger Greensight, or am I missing something? Oh, you may discard the cards. Okay, he just chose not to discard them. So we see a Messenger Raven get stolen. Unfortunately, we don't actually get to see the hand from the Red Priest. Oh, this is great. So if the Night's Watch player does not marshal the wall this turn, the Italian player can basically lock them out from ever playing that card. And when your deck's strategy is built around one card, it's pretty hard to win the game if that card's not able to be played. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out what the Shadows card is for the Night's Watch players. Looks like it could be Blackbird, and I believe that is it. Oh, it could be Janos Slint. Okay, so there's 2 options. It's not entirely true. Oh yeah. It's Blackbird or Janos Lint. Yeah, I was just looking at the deck list trying to figure out what other cards it could be because I don't know the card pool. Um, Janos Lint is pretty cool with the big wall because the big wall turns your characters into Nice Watch characters, which you can then sacrifice. I believe that card requires a Nice Watch specific sacrifice. Yeah. Oh, Hard Home has shadows. Okay, so yeah, Hard and what's this other one? Forest Recruit or Forest Patrol? Oh, this one lets you kneel a Night Watch location to put it into play. Yeah, this card is powerful for sure. One giant red military. Haldocrate. I mean, Italy's has looked very strong. So, it's obvious that they could, but I really hope the C team gets it going. Yeah, Rabs for sure. That's one of the cards, if I'm not mistaken, that's really pushed the Sea of Blood archetype to the forefront of Nice Watch decks. Getting basically a free 6 military. Well, I guess it costs 2, right? You have to put it Marshal in the Shadows. So in the challenge phase, we see 2 gold sitting on Night's Watch, so I imagine Iron Throne will name Bound for the Wall. Actually, Academo got to see the hand of the Night's Watch player. That's fair. Bound definitely is the card that's pushed, I guess, to the forefront. Being able to bound on command. Oh, it has named Forest Patrol. Okay. Sure, Mythlama, but you could kneel like I don't know what locations the deck plays, so I guess you're right actually. I don't know if they play any like static locations like Eastwatch by the Sea or anything. See an Intrigue Challenge gets won by Academo. Are we gonna see a Tears of Bliss? Probably not. Just because Maester Aemon is sitting there fronting that. Discards a copy of Last of the Giants. That could also have been usable. We see a Intrigue Challenge coming back. It's really it feels really fruitless to do these challenges against Dorn. Which Night's Watch deck and which Martell deck? You should refresh the thing. The the lists definitely work. I had to update the Google Doc this morning because Stefan had updated the deck lists, and I just finished that. I finished that before I went to go get breakfast. So if you refresh your Google Doc, everything should be up and running. Obviously, if anyone finds anything that's not proper, please let me know so I can figure out what went wrong. So Academo defends the military challenge, doesn't want to lose a character, and takes the intrigue claim, but then gets to use Doran, so it's not a big deal. And then this power challenge, again, it feels really bad. Obviously it's getting you ahead, but against Doran, it's just you just see the card advantage flowing, right? Like at the end of this turn, Martell's gonna be up 8 cards to 2. I guess 3 technically, right? You have the Shadows card. And, you know, I've played enough card games in my lifetime to know that, you know, eventually having more cards will definitely seal the game for you. And we even see a Viper's Eyes to take a card here. This card's Maester Mullen. So the Night Watch player is up a good amount of power right now, but four is definitely not like within striking distance of victory. I think Martell is quite comfortable with where the game is right now. Has key location set up with good economy, and you have, you know, full control of cards right now. Just need to not have like some big swingy event happen, like Bound for the Wall, or some big swingy play happen. I wonder what plots we'll see here. I think maybe a Nice Watch will flip March to the Wall here, or Fall Spring. Oh, no, they can flip Exchange of Information, actually. But Exchange of Information feels pretty bad against Iron Throne. And then on the other side, probably we can see Naval. Options are pretty limited here. It's like Naval or Marched. Yep, and there's Naval, actually. Yep. And Naval hits. So hit count for Naval is 1. It will remove the gold value on this Edict plot. I remember watching videos from the White Walkers. And I was watching the UK war turn, or not war tournament, UK Nationals, and there's that one Targaryen player that literally opened Naval against everyone and apparently hit like every single time regardless, which I found quite hilarious. Greensight is used to discard cards, so Crasters and Orphan discarded. Yeah. Renly is the one really big you know, big unique character that can swing you know, be a big swing. So people are pointing out that I think this is a pretty good matchup for the Martell player. You know, it's their characters just like don't matter. They're pretty inconsequential characters. I like. I also think that missing with Naval is a little bit harder because just like the really common plots nowadays seem to be Kingdom or Edicts, right? Like obviously there are none of those plots that get run, but it's, you know, it feels like Naval has a very high chance of hitting pretty much, you know, most common plots. We see the reserve ship. I always forget this is called Summer Seaport. I just call it the reserve ship. I know there's refurbished Hulk, which is the initiative ship, and this ship, which is reserve. We do see the restricted card for Martell. You know, Flea Bottom. You get to run Flea Bottom and Dorn again, which is pretty sweet. And the Night Watch player has done a great job of filling the discard pile for Martell. We got this nice Dorn Spy ready to go with Flea Bottom. Oh, this is not actually the ship.
Oh, I see. It is the port for the ship. I see it now. I see the dock. Right, because if it was the ship, it would have the ship trait. That makes sense. We see Green Blood Trader coming in for an intrigue challenge. Gets brought back into play with Flea Bottom. Pretty great synergy there. When you bring it back with Flea Bottom, you get to just draw a card. It doesn't actually cost you a card, because otherwise it breaks even, right? It costs you a card to play and then draws you a card. We see Intrigue coming in, gets defended, but then Dorn triggers. And with the increased reserve from Dorn in the port, not gonna have to discard too many cards to reserve. What got named by Iron Throne? Oh, he named the wall in marshaling. Okay, so I imagine the wall is gonna get named pretty much for the rest of the game. See a power challenge coming through. It's just one for unopposed, but then gives a card to Dorn. I guess we're over reserve right now, so we're just giving selection. Although a Viper's Eyes gets played, so not losing an extra card. And Iron Throne is really sick in this deck because you just get to keep naming. Oh, is this how this works? Is it, so okay? So people in the chat, this is me being naive. So is the reason that he was able to play Viper's Eyes before Bound for the Walls is it has to do with being first player? I assume first player gets to trigger their reactions first. Okay, yeah. So being first player here a huge deal. Since Viper's Eyes gets to take Bound for the Wall before he gets to play it. That's actually really sick. I think the C player doesn't realize what's going on here. Okay, looks like looks like the C player didn't realize what happened here in terms of the priority and thought that he had priority first. Excuse me. Looks like we got that sorted. Military challenge is canceled. The Night's Watch player is just getting buried in cards right now. Like the amount of power that the Night's Watch player is gaining is not even remotely fast enough to stop what the Martell player is doing right now. See a military challenge coming in. We'll probably see a block, and then the Green Blood Trader will bite the dust. Dorn triggers again. Like just this turn alone, we've had I think 3 triggers of Dorn. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 triggers of Dorn. And then I believe you triggered Dorn twice on turn 1. And then we see Janos come down, killing a builder at the wall. And I believe we have an intrigue challenge left. Yep, and there's the intrigue coming in. So we're gonna go to 6 and then 7 after Dom. So Nice Watch player is definitely getting the power going, but they just lack like the ability to close. I think from 7 to 15, because not having any renown or ways to gain passive power on top of your challenges is really easy to math out in terms for the Martell player, so they don't lose. This card's a Venomous Blade at random. Venomous Blade would have been really nice. It's basically just Neil's Maester Aemon though, but I mean it lets you set up some plays. All right, I wonder what. So I okay, so we see. I think we should see another March to the Wall here by the Night's Watch player. I think we should march to the wall, so that way we can get back our Messenger Raven to get some cards going again. We really need some cards. I wonder if Italy will read this and flip Marched also. Nope, we see exchange to draw cards, okay, and then we see Doharis. So you could keep Forest Patrol, Maester Aemon, and Forest Hunter and get rid of Janos, or you can keep Janos and Maester Aemon, or Janos and the Forest Patrol. I like keeping the 3 characters, but Janos is a pretty fat body. Yeah, my bad, Juggy. Well, Janos is definitely too fat, so he went to the bottom of the deck. Just saying. That's why you have to sacrifice a guy. That's why you have to sacrifice a character, because otherwise Janos needs to feast. Janos eats the person you sacrifice. That's actually what happens. Somebody's got to compete with Wyman for biggest character. All right, so we look at exchange of information hits, Varys, Isle of Ravens, and Guarding the Realm. So Guarding the Realm is actually really funny against Flea Bottom. Maybe you Guarding the Realm. There's like a multiple good targets here. You have to be really careful if you Guarding the Realm a character, and then Martell can Flea Bottom in, Southern Messenger, and send that character back to their own hand. So I think if you play Guarding the Realm, you actually have to take the Southern Messenger to prevent your opponent from bouncing their guys. In Marshalling, Iron Throne gets an L. I assume the wall is gonna get It's either the wall or you could name one of the cards you revealed and exchanged. Like how do you think in those 2 cards that they drew the wall? This Isle of Ravens can also help combat Flea Bottom a bit by removing threats. Names the wall, just doesn't want to take any chances. Better telegram, isn't it? What do you mean? We've seen Underground Vault get played. Or sorry, get knelt. So, oh, gotcha. And we do see the Guarding the Realm get played after the Messenger Raven. Does take the Southern Messenger, so correctly identifies the line. I don't know. I don't know. Ivan, the Martell player has so many cards. I guess they don't have any. They don't have any characters in play, which is the actual issue. But like, you have so many cards in hand. We see another green blood trader. Yeah, exactly. Mythlama, as someone who likes to play control in a lot of games, can never have too many cards. But yes, this Isle of Ravens will indeed help combat Flea Bottom a lot better. But this Greensight against Flea Bottom is a little bit awkward. Barracks Undarian in chat pointing out there's exactly one power icon on the entire board. That's actually hilarious. Renly is not there. We see a giant military attack coming in through here. You could bring back Ario here, right? Is this entries played during a challenge? Yeah. So you could, yeah, you can Flea Bottom Ario here. Yeah, and that's what we see. Ario removes the Force Patrol, and then you block. So I think before making this attack, what the Night Watch player needed to do was to shuffle Ario back in with Isle of Ravens. I guess you could Southern Messenger, but that seems really loose. Because then you lose your power icon. Also, sacrificing the Southern Messenger puts it back in the graveyard for Flea Bottom. So we'll see a poke entry challenge come through here. I guess you should send your. I guess you have some claim soak already. You don't really need to worry about Mr. Aemon being nulled. I'd probably defend this. I don't know how I defend this. Yeah, I guess I need to. I always get these cards mixed up. What does this card want? What does this one do? Oh, this is not the one that sacrifices itself. Yeah. I was thinking. Yeah, correct. What kind of decks do I like to play in Thrones? I like to play good decks in Thrones. whatever, whatever the the I'm a very competitive person. So whatever the best deck whatever the best deck of the meta is, I will learn it and play it to the best of my abilities. So the two Thrones tournaments that I have participated in, I played Wama's Starfieldy right after he had won UK Nats. So he published that deck list, and then I practiced it. And then for US Nationals, Nico posted his Greyjoy Reigns list like the week before, and so I spent that week playing that deck practicing, and I did really well with that deck. So I just don't have the time to invest into learning all the other things. If you just like give me a deck list and say, go practice this, I'll practice it. Like that's the easiest way for me to play. But I mean, if I could pick, I really do prefer attrition, maybe like heavy control style decks, more than other decks. But like if that's not what the best deck is, I will gladly play like Night's Watch Sea of Blood. But I mean, I can't think of many more fun things in the world than what this Martell player is doing with Iron Throne and Dorn. That's just like sounds so fun to me. But on the same note, like watching Nico play that Mercenary Contract cohort deck seemed awesome. Also, I would totally play that deck. Look, Miflama, fun, and interactive is a zero sum game. The Martell player is having a lot of fun by naming the wall every turn, and it's interactive because you're stopping your opponent from doing things. You are interacting with them, easy. It's all a matter of perspective. But I definitely have found that Game of Thrones has a lot more big swing plays than L5R does, for instance. L5R is very attrition based. Very few plays that can like lose you the game, where there's just taking small incremental advantages and building it up into a snowball is usually how games are won. Where you just capitalize on mistakes and you build up your advantages, card advantage, board, all those things, and slowly kind of, tip the scale into your favor. Yes, I agree. And then we see the second march come down here to clear out the other red priest. Really sick here. Oh, Varus is put back into the hand. Is it? I mean, obviously it depends on what faction you're playing and what the meta is, but I can't think of the last time I lost a game to like one character breaking my stronghold. Yeah, Unicorn. Unicorn right now is the one faction that has big swings because it's so explosive, and I definitely think that's good for the game for the game to have things like that. Um, I just Yeah, so Vexian, I'll say in the early portion of the game, I would definitely agree that it was really swingy. But as an example, in tournament play, in basically premier level events, the better player will win. I think there's more skill expression in L5R because you have more control on your variants because of the two decks, because you draw more cards, um, and I will say that generally speaking, the better player will win a multitude of times more than someone who's less skilled than them, regardless of matchup or anything. But I would also say that Alpha is still growing as a game and as a community, whereas Game of Thrones I think has had a little bit longer for people to kind of find their groove. And that could change, where the better player doesn't win as much, but that's probably the reason I like it more because generally speaking, I happen to be better than my opponent, so I get to win more games. The wall gets named again by the Iron Throne. Uh, you know, anyone watching, obviously, I know. Oh, Yorin comes down. This is pretty sweet. Yorin's gonna take this red priest, and now the Night's Watch player can get rid of this red priest somehow. They'll be able to get their messenger raven back to draw more cards. Um, but yeah, obviously this is a Game of Thrones stream, so I don't want to talk about Alpha too much. But since I have a little bit of an audience in I think what 3 weeks now, about 3 to 3.5 weeks, Alpha Hour Worlds will be taking place. And if you're watching along here, and even if you don't necessarily play the game, my friend Chris and I will be doing live commentary. My friend Chris and I will be doing live commentary of both rounds of Swiss and the cut on Fantasy Flight's official stream. So I'm super super excited to be doing that for them. And so we have foregone playing the event to bring better content. We do see Renly come down here. This could be big. Renly allows the Martell player to cheat economy here, which is one thing that they're kind of bottlenecked on based on the number of cards in their hand. So they have a lot of um they have a lot of cards, but they don't have a lot of ways to spend their gold because they don't make enough gold to play all their cards. Yeah, I definitely think Lay Siege has probably been at an all-time high. Gates of the Moon is probably just the most common because of the Great Hall restriction. Gates of the Moon is the first at the gates target, right? So you even if including it and your opponent's not playing the throne, you should at least be able to hit Gates of the Moon on pretty high percentage of the time. Is that really like what you want to do though? If you want to play Late Siege, like mathematically mathematically speaking, if you have 1x Lay Siege, you want to see it as early as possible. If you're trying to kill Gates of the Moon, right? You want to deny the economy early, and if it's against Iron Throne, you also want to see it early because you don't want to be locked out of playing cards, right? So I feel like if you're gonna play it, it should be at least a 2 or 3x because you really want to see it. Yeah, there you go. Play 1x out of Sea Blood to tutor for it. When put to the torch is it's the same thing. That's some next level though. That way, if your opponent uses Iron Throne to name put to the torch, you can get him with Lay Siege. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, Barrack. You at least have the flexibility of just being able to kneel a location. I can get behind that. Nine reserve after flipping marched. Jeez. Pretty insane. So we see power challenge coming through here. Oh, I'm sorry. The first thing that happened was there was a military challenge, and Renly put in Aryo Hoda, which is really sick. That is a sick interaction. And then Renly blocked the power challenge. So I think this is the turn. This is the turn where we're gonna see the Martell player really flip the switch. Yeah, Jogi for sure. 5 reserve on you and or you die, Jesus. Or no, it's only 4, right? Yeah, he's not Hollow Hill, so it's just 1, 2, 3, 4. Still really insane, obviously. We see Aryo coming in for the crackback. Um, should probably just block with the Red Priest and then use it for claim. Yep, and that's what we see. Um, Pretty straightforward play. You deny the power, and then you get your card back from the Thread Priest. Uh, Maznui, Maznayuga, you can contact me via Facebook Messenger, Discord, or like you could DM me here if you want. You can DM me on Twitter. At For You Mind's Desire. Like, there's a lot of ways for you to contact me. I just don't want to post my email here. But Discord, Facebook, or Twitter are probably the three best ways. I guess you could message me on Twitch also, but I don't know how that really works. I do like card games, so been playing them for most of my life. All right, and so here comes the entry challenge. We see Flea Bottom putting in the not Southern Messenger, Dorn Spy, and claims discards. What is this card? Septon Celador? I don't even know what this card does. Do a quick look here. Huh. This is like a poor man's Ghost of High Heart, I guess. Yeah, yeah, for sure. The Martell player is starting to put the cards in their hand into good effect here. And we're gonna see Renly, I think, as the catalyst for this pushback, being able to basically buy somebody for free. Like Renly that turn saved Martell 5 gold, which was pretty ludicrous. Like, so if you think that's gonna happen, do you flip return here, Danny? So if everyone's saying Night's Watch should flip VM, isn't this a pretty obvious return play? The last so it's Fall Spring and VM are the two remaining plots for. Oh, sorry. Night's Watch has 3 plots. I forget at Doran's behest. So we have You Win or You Die and Returned here. We see At the Gates into You Win or You Die. So pretty great, pretty strong discipline by the Martell player. I have not seen Isle get used, um, Ivan, but I could just be missing it because I've been interacting with chat. Everyone in chat is losing their minds over these 2 plots. Next, Danny Guerrero says next plot is crucial, and we see At the Gates and You Win or You Die. I mean, obviously the Martell player only had 2 options, but the At the Gates is really really surprising. So grabs in their Flea Bottom alley. Really need to be able to put characters into play to. We're gonna see a lot of cards get discarded to reserve here. So Whamma, you say this is the always the You Win or You Die turn for Martell. Is this because? Oh yeah, okay. What am I in chat pointing out? It's you win because You Win or You Die is plot 6, and then you go take it to plot off, and then you can do it again. It's 4 reserve, Ivan, not 5. It's three ports and Dorn. So I don't know where the 5th reserve is coming from. So we see another Dornish fiefdom. We see a dupe on Renly, really big. Oh, we do see a Craven on Renly, but not being. Oh yeah, that's for Ivan. Definitely not 0. Like having any amount of reserve with you win or you die is really insane, and then obviously having 4 is so insane. We see Imri come down, and we see Davos. We have so much gold. We see a Venomous Blade come down. Probably kills the Messenger Raven. Oh, sorry, I killed Three Finger Hob. Apologies, I missed that. Yeah, people were talking about basically flipping VM into return, and Naira points out that if you hit VM into return, it's basically game losing. So it really is a tough call. Like you basically, I just have to gamble. Yeah. Clearly, this shows that the Martell player doesn't care if Renly dies because he flips you win or you die right into a potential pretty telegraph VM turn. That's fair. When you say by pin, does that mean? Oh, that means because it's the last plot, it's gonna be stuck. I don't know what you mean by pinned. Because there's 2 plots left. And we see Davos come in and has to kill 2 characters now from 2 claim. Kills the forest patrol and the southern messenger. So we're kind of seeing um something that has has basically made been made possible by this new Iron Throne is that you have these really linear decks that are focused on built around one specific card. Like obviously the Night's Watch deck can win without the wall, but the fact that their entire deck does really is supported by that one card, and that one card is literally can never be played, is definitely a problem for these hyperlinear decks. And I think moving forward, if you're not going to play Late Siege, you really need to rethink your deck strategy and how you want to approach the game. So we see Flea Bottom brings back, or sorry, we see a Doran Spy get jumped in, not Flea Bottom. Oh no, it gets jumped in by Renly actually, so that's pretty sick. Saves 3 gold. Strips the icon off Yorin, doesn't really matter. Danny Guerrero pointing out tears incoming. Oh yeah, I guess Night's Watch Wolf can play Frozen Solid. That's another option. Uh, if you want to play, these linear decks. And then we see a entry challenge come through here. Sacks Shadow City Bastard. And then tears onto Yorin. Discards the wall and Isle of Ravens. Well, there it is, by the way. Oh yeah, Seized by the Guard also. Seized by the Guard is another good option. I don't know what this other card is. Koro. I don't know what that card does. Um, but yeah, it really easy to see here. This card stops this card. There was literally one turn where Night's Watch could have played it, and that turn they really couldn't have because the Martell player led on a Red Priest. So even if you had the wall during that time, you could never have played it. And now we're gonna flip returned here. Yeah, so Chris Thompson was in our car ride back from a tournament. We were talking about we were talking about some of the older cards, and a lot of the cards in the OP pack got mentioned, like Harrenhal. Harrenhal and the Mad King were definitely the two of the most standout cards for how dumb they were. But guys, it has prized, lol. Yeah, those cards are just really too much. We do see the VM flipped into to the return. It's really tough because as an Ice Slash player, you can't really let that board go on, but like your opponent has to flip returned. I wonder if the correct line there is to flip False Spring, or is that what it's called? Yeah, you flip False Spring, and you basically try your damnedest to not die this turn, and then you can flip VM into not returned. But I guess you flip VM into you win or you die, so you probably lose there anyway. We see the third Red Priest come down. removes a grizzled miner. We see a begging brother, gonna grab 3 gold on him. Oh, only does 1. We see Davos come back, he survived the VM because he's very resourceful. Yeah, the subject of the Mad King got brought up because we were talking about how bad the new Eddard was from the chapter pack, the one that has to kneel in dominance to kill a dude, and then CT just like told me about the Mad King, and I was just like, what? How is this reasonable? I think my favorite part about the Mad King is that he he can't be killed unless your opponent has a Lord, Lady, or Jaime Lannister specifically. And then I found out that not all the copies of Jaime Lannister in first edition were lords, which I found very funny. So we see Varys come down. Okay, you just have to survive this turn, and Varys could potentially help you clean this up. Hey, awesome, Vexian. Thanks for the sub with Twitch Prime. Um, I really appreciate it. Absolutely do appreciate it. Oh, the 5 cost Jamie in this game is not a lord. Okay, so a Kingsguard Jamie is not a lord. Gotcha. God, that 5 cost Jamie is so bad. I don't know. I didn't know anything about the game, and I still looked at that card and just like thought it was terrible. And then I was told, yeah, I was like, why doesn't this card see any play? It looks really bad. And everyone I asked was like, it's because it is really bad. See military coming in here with this red priest. Academo says he has an action. Okay, he uses Renly to put. Oh, okay. So this way he can strip the military icon. This is smart. This is kind of one of those moments where you're in paper it goes smoother because you can communicate where you are in the phases. Probably claims the force patrol now because it doesn't have any icons. Jack coming in and just giving us the resident sleepers. There's another Dornish spy here. Oh, you don't even need to remove the icon because Davos has stealth. You can flea bottom the other Dornish spy to remove Varys' intrigue icon if you wanted, if you were so inclined. Oh, yep, actually, you removed the intrigue icon. I believe this will be game. I believe this is the game right here. Because it's gonna be unopposed to 14.
the Nice Watch player can't make the power attack, or they lose to Renown on Renly, and then if they don't attack, they lose to Dom going to Martell. I mean, just for good measure, we see Tears of Bliss on Varus. And I believe we will see a +7 victory from Martell. And that's it. So Italy goes up 6, or Italy wins their series actually. That was the 5th win. So really great showing by the Italian team so far. Some strong wins for sure. We'll see if they can carry it on through the rest of the tournament, and see if they have this kind of dominance throughout, which is really cool. So really appreciate everyone for hanging out here. I will be ending the stream, and I have to go actually do some work. I can't just hang out with you guys all the time. I will hopefully be on in the afternoon to stream more games though. So I'm gonna try and get all my work done now, and then I will be back hopefully in like five hours or so. So thanks everyone for hanging out.